Well, all right. The hair's looking nice. Got the new hat on. Little super green juice. Gotta have your green juice. What is happening? Happy Sunday to you as we get ready to start another week. For those of you on the East Coast, you're probably getting through it. Us on the West Coast, heading into lunchtime. Alex, what's happening? Matt, Tony, Susie Lee, great to see you. So, one of the things I love to do is our live Q&A sessions where it gets my brain kind of moving. I can share some of the things I've done. I can share my experience. I can answer questions. I can help. I can give back. And it keeps me on my toes, man. I've been in a little bit of a brain funk the last couple days. I need to get some of that motivation back. So nothing is better than helping serve others, and it gets my brain kind of kick-started. So thought I would jump in and let's get into some stuff. We can talk about all kinds of different things here. Brandon, good to see you. Kolby's on fire. Tony G. What is that, dude? Look at that. Oh, let me see if I turn the light down. It's kind of hot. Look at that. Oh. How do you not love that? We'll talk about that here in just a second. Let's see. Susan, great to see you. Welcome to the party. Matt, Ben, Noel, what's up, dude? I just got this hat, man. It's old school felt light, dude. I love these hats. This hat is probably 40 years old. And I don't have anything that's mustard green, man, but I gotta switch my hat game up, dude. Gotta switch the hat game up. Kev, what's happening? Susan, we are live. Sitting in the pool with a margarita thinking about you. I love that. Kevin, I love that. We got a big week ahead here. Josh, Brian, Chris, what's up? What's up, David? Carly King. Great to see you, Jeff. Let's start with, let's see. Let's go into this. Let's go into the Healthy Primate Nootropic Formula. So, for those of you that are here, or were here for the Meltdown in the Desert, one of our key partners and sponsors, CEO and co-founder Tony G, is actually in the feed today. Runs a company by the name of Ship Offers. Ship Offers specializes in custom formulations, white labeling, full labeling, packaging, processing, and distribution of supplementation. So for those of you, I don't know, it's been a while since I've talked about the Healthy Primate. It's been kind of on autopilot. But I run a company by the name of Healthy Primate that's focused on being able to provide natural ingredients to address some of the biggest things that we face. So the first thing I went and tackled was stress and anxiety, going after cortisol. And that took off like gangbusters, and we've kind of sat within that product set. Have had apparel stuff around it that's done well. The Remember Why You Started now is tucked under the Healthy Primate umbrella. And one of the things we built was a custom nootropic formula with Tony's company that we gave away for people that were here at Meltdown in the Desert. Well, we're putting this into full production into the Healthy Primate store. And as I posted, I'll put the full ingredient list here because there's a ton of really, really good stuff here that if you're not into health and fitness, like if I were just ramble off the ingredients, you're not going to get it. But the big thing here is this is probably one of the most clean, non-stimulant nootropics on the market. And what it is it's essentially like a brain booster. If you've seen the movie Limitless, it's not quite that intense. That's kind of like an ecstasy trip, if you ask me. But what it does is it helps boost your cognitive function. And when you pull caffeine out of that, aka there's no stimulants, what it does is it gives you a very clean mental boost. So if you're thinking like this and firing on all cylinders, what it does is it'll help kind of bring some clarity around the frontal cortex and the lobe. And I take it every day. You're supposed to take one a day. I do take two. I take one in the evening, or one in the morning, one in the evening. So that is a super exciting new product that's coming to market. Got some beats here going in the background here. Got some beats. Let's see. So yeah, excited to bring that out. So what questions do you guys have? Books that I'm reading, things that you need help with. What are you doing different this week to change the outcomes for the end of the week, right? If you're not, whether it's meal planning or meal prepping, if you're not getting your workout clothes and stuff ready, iron your work clothes, get your stuff prepared, you're not going to be ready for the week. Brian, what's up? About to try for the first time. We'll love your feedback once you jump into it. Gino Carducci, what's up, my brother? Hutch, what's going on? Katie Carpenter, Levi. Please share this stuff on my page. I will. Susan, you can share it. I love it. Kevin McCarty, great question. How did you pick the manufacturer for your supplements? Well, the first supplement that I brought to market is called Stress Support. And I spent 18 months understanding first how the human body produces the chemicals around stress. So I started at the scientific level. And then what I did was there's really only two kind of routes to market. I could go get a prescription for like Zoloft or Xanax or Afrin, or I could be in a meditative state all day, right? That's how you control cortisol. Well, I couldn't be in a meditative state all day based on running 100 miles an hour. So the second thing was I didn't want to go into taking pharmaceuticals. So I became a student on understanding how cortisol production is made. Like, I'm not the most low stress human being on the planet. My wife can attest. But what I do understand is how cholesterol is actually the mother chemical of everything from hormone production to stress production, right? It's the same level. So I dove there, and then understanding what natural supplementations under the family that are called adaptogens, right? Those are natural herbs and elixirs that control hormone production as well as cortisol. They do all kinds of stuff, but I went after that category. There are about 32 that are focused on that chemical production. So I bought all 32, and over 18 months I became a guinea pig. And I took them all. I took them in all kinds of different combinations. I took them in the morning, took them in the afternoon, took them in the evening. I was taking 12 to 30 pills a day. And then what I would do is every 30 days I would go get my blood drawn to see, because you can measure cortisol, to see where my stress levels sat, to see if what I was doing was making a difference. I brought the camera, I videoed the whole thing, I shared that, and then when we launched the Stress line, it was built on the things I had tested and was proven. We had 40 people that turned into 100 people into a test group. Then I launched. So for me, I interviewed probably 6 or 7 different companies until I found somebody that I could actually go in and take my custom formulation, which was very expensive to start to into market. So for me, it was an interview process. But I got to tell you the things I didn't know. The packaging, the distribution, the bottle makeup, a matte label versus a shiny label, all that kind of stuff that I wasn't thinking about. Even though I'm a marketing guy or I think about design, I design all of our labels and all the sites. I do that all here. And for me, it was important to have a partner. So I had multiple partners when I first came to market with Stress Support. That changed. And then what Tony's company does with ship offers, and I'll include a link to their site for those that are interested in getting into the supplement business, they do all of that. So having a partner that could do the manufacturing, the packaging, the labeling, the distribution for me, so I could concentrating on the marketing, the sales, and educating people on what's in it. So, it's one of the most competitive markets on the planet. So having a partner that can do that is extremely important. So ship offers for me is like when we add new products, I'm only using ship offers moving forward for the new stuff that we're adding to the company. So, dude, that was a great question. Great question. Way to get us started. So let's, Chris Knight, what's up, dude? Let's see. David Brooks. Oh, I gave you guys shouts outs. Mike Hoyt, what's up, dude? I didn't even know you used Facebook. Brian Harris, I already said hello to you. What's up? How did you pick the manufacturer? Kevin, I answered you. Susan, I have a new trainer and lost 5 pounds in 3 days. Susan, congratulations. Proud of you. Tyson, good to see you. Levi, what books am I reading this week? That is a good question. What books am I reading this week? I've got 2 that are sitting right here. I'll tell you, the 2 books I need to finish are these 2. So this is a good read. It's Bold by Peter Diamond and Stephen Kotler. And then Mindset. I got to finish these 2. I have not read these. I started reading them. I haven't finished them. So I'll be reading one of these 2 or both this week. That's what I'm reading. What are you reading? What are you guys reading? What's kind of keeping your palate fresh? Murray Hicks, what's happening? Scott Sipple. Wow, we got some Insight guys on the line. Good to see you guys. Melissa, good to see you. You're doing your Channel 10 live on social media this week. We're looking forward to seeing that. Vincent, what's going on? Joe, Alex Benson, Monica, what's happening? Jody, good to see you. Are the books in your library available for loan? Dude, I guess so. I mean, if there's something in my library you want to borrow, you just got to give it back to me. Just tell me what you want to borrow, and you cover shipping, I'll send it to you. Let's see. Kevin, what did you interview them on? I've got the formula nailed down. I'm struggling how to qualify vendors. The interview process you mentioned. How to make sure I've got good pilots, good pills, not bunk shit. So for me, you got two different questions inside your answer, or what you're asking here. So what did I interview them on? First off, I went and toured 3 different facilities. There's huge facilities here in Phoenix, so I have some that are in my backyard. What I'm looking for are there are various levels of certification that manufacturers have to have that prove that their manufacturing facilities are using the ingredients that they say they are at a percentage that they say they are. So I started with certifications first. I made sure that they could verify the purity of the chemicals that they use, or not the chemicals, but the compounds that they use are at the highest caliber, right? So there's a series of certifications you can ask for, and then sourcing. Where do you source your ingredients? Right, so I would be really interested to see how you came up with your formula. I mean, I spent 2 years really diving into the science behind each of the compounds and how they work together. So I had to bring that to an actual scientist that could put the percentages of what's going to go in each pill. This is new, I haven't opened it yet, but like how much of what goes inside each pill. And then I was very careful on, is it a press tab, is it a gel tab, is it a gel capsule that's filled? If so, how pure is it? Test it, buy stuff, have it tested. It gets to be expensive, right? So a real easy way to get in is getting in with a white label. Is first being able to find something. Go to Amazon. You can go to, there's lots of different sites you can get that will tell you what top sellers are on Amazon. Find out what's selling in your market, or an idea that you have, like it was vitamin C, vitamin B12. Find something that's selling a ton of, and then figure out if you can white label and build a brand and build a better mousetrap. That's one way to get into supplements. The other way, because a lot of times it's a marketing game. Unless you're coming in and breaking into a completely new marketplace, as I was with the stress support. It's kind of a mix between if you were going to take an Onnit brand, like an Onnit all-natural supplementation to optimize the human potential and experience. Like, there's not a ton of companies that are all natural, so that was the direction I wanted to go. And then it was like, I'm going after big pharma in a category as high as stress. Stress and anxiety is a $4 billion market when you look at how much gets spent on treating those symptoms, from loss of sleep, from weight gain, to migraines, to thyroid issues, to preset diabetes. It all comes back to cortisol mismanagement, right? So the doctors don't talk about cholesterol is good or bad. It's not just cholesterol. So they lower your cholesterol. By lowering your cholesterol, it lowers your ability to produce cortisol or hormones, right? You can't produce cortisol and like testosterone or estrogen at the same time. I know I'm getting kind of geeky here, but that's the kind of shit that I went into. So for the interview process, clean. I need to know pure. I need to understand sourcing. I need to understand the cost model. Is it within my model? And then is there a white label I can go into the market with and start? That's what I would start with. Colin, good to see you. Jealous of your bookshelves. Thank you, brother. I spent time collecting. I got some stuff. Joseph, what's going on? Brant, Jay, what's up, dude? 12-week year. I love it, man. Jay, what is new with you, dude? Cody, Dorsey, good to see you. Levi, awesome. I'm reading Cashvertising again. Dude, I haven't read that book, and let me know if it's any good. My man Oziel, what's going on, dude? Conley. Chris Knight, Tommy Baker's Unresolution. Dude, I had that sitting like where I could grab it, and we could do a little plug here. I don't have it handy. It's a great book, dude. Reading The Strong Family by Chuck. So I haven't read that book, man. Gina, what's happening? Brandon, Alex. I've Served to Win by Mitch Diffrey and All Gaze Aloud by Tim. Coming interviews for my podcast launching next month. Awesome, dude. What's the focus of the podcast? Stephen Morgan, what's going on, dude? You are on fire. There's nothing like this. I agree, dude. It's all about the live interaction, right? Love the diversity of the fields you play. Dude, you know what? I can attribute all of my success. So one day when I've made it, I don't know that I'll ever make it, but the day that I make it and they interview me and they say, Kolby, what do you attribute all of your success to? I'm going to attribute everything I have done and that I've done or that I will do. I attribute all of it to ADD. If I didn't have ADD, I don't think I'd be able to function the way that I do. Like, my brain processes a lot of different things, and I get bored easy. So the problem for me is, like, how do you stay focused on something long enough, right? It's not about being diverse. It's about being able to execute. But I love it, man. Great information. Thank you, man. Jacob, great to see you. Sean, what's happening? Kevin, would love to talk to you about the formula once. John, quick. Good plan. I don't do business with Quick anymore, so I'd be happy to talk to you, dude, if you want to jump on the line. And he's not a supplement guy, so I would stick with people who understand supplements. And Tony G, his team, they know this stuff really, really well. I've got other companies too. If you want some other people to bounce some ideas off, Pure Genius, thank you, brother. Kyle Beck, what's up, dude? What's up, Kyle Beck? Dude, I was doing my yard the other day, and I was thinking about you for some weird reason. I don't know why, because I know you're out there killing it right now. Got to keep up with you boys. I know, dude, you're killing it. Well, what else, guys? I don't want to just pontificate. What other questions do you have? Business stuff, diversification, how to get a side hustle and make some extra cash. Saw my boy Sean Whalen went to kind of a garage sale, bought some stuff today. I'm the king of the flip. Actually, Jay, who's on here, is king of the flip. I think he's averaging a couple grand a month on the flip on some of that simple money methods. There is, for those of you that have stayed this long, a release. The simple money methods is being kind of pulled apart, and I'm adding a bunch of kind of new angles to it from selling on the Facebook marketplace. It's coming under a new brand, and I'm going to be branding that under the People's Champ. Right? I'm going to go into the field and actually do live videos of me in areas, like showing people how to do this live, because I really do believe that, let's look at the financial system for a minute. So if the average American makes $42,000 a year, that's about 73% of Americans make $42,000 a year. Go Google it. Go look at 2016 stats when you start to look at the measurement of not just the economy, but you go and look at the census data. So I pull census data. So 42 grand a year is average, okay? If $42,000 a year is average, that has got me as a full-time employee working 33 or 34 hours a week, which means I now qualify for insurance. I have insurance. I've got federal taxes. I've got state taxes. I've got independence. The average American has 2.5 kids. It's 2.5 kids. Put all of that math together, and the science behind how much I take home is $64 a day of non-disposable income. The term non-disposable, I'm going to burp here, of non-disposable income means that's how much money I have to live on a day. That's not what paying my rent, paying my car payment, buying groceries. When you pull all of that stuff together, I'm living barely paycheck to paycheck. So what happens in this scenario is I've got to work overtime to get ahead. So if I'm the sole provider and I've got to work overtime to get ahead, what is being disrupted? My relationship with my spouse, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with myself, because I'm just trying to get through the days. I'm working 13, 14-hour days. My health's going to shit. That is not longevity. Or then the spouse has to go to work too. So now we've got both parents are actively working, right? But when you look at wage increase over the last 10 years, it's only gone up less than 5% on earnings, meaning we're making the same amount we did now 10 years ago, but the average amount of time that the Americans are working has almost gone up by like 42, 43%. That is not okay. And nobody's talking about it. There really is not a middle class. There's people that are living paycheck to paycheck and those who have exuberant amounts of cash. And in the middle, if you're making six figures, you're an outlier. If you make over 60 grand a year, you are in the top 2% of earners globally, right? So what the People's Champ is, when you look at simple money methods and the flip, it's the ability to help more people at the ground floor understand that I can go make an extra $200, $300, $400, $500 a week buying and selling stuff online. So going to a TJ Maxx, going to a Ross, going to a Goodwill, and showing people how to do that in real time by spending $10, $20, $30 to start without having some big internet marketing bullshit, but showing people at the ground floor how to make some extra cash, because I believe financially it starts with that. Once I get understand I can make money for myself, I can reinvest that money into another business, I can pay down debt, I can work less hours, which means I can concentrate on myself, I can concentrate on my family, I can concentrate on my relationships, and I can be a better person. You've heard that phrase, you're not born to pay bills and die. I absolutely fucking believe that. I believe that with every ounce in me, that we've got a bigger purpose here in this planet. So that's another kind of thing I'm in. So if you want to know more about how to flip a side hustle, I'd be happy to share whatever I can share with you now. Let's see. Kevin, I got you. Let's see. Mordecai. Dude, that's an awesome name. I love that name. Growing strong men to their wives, children, community, themselves. I work in the ideas of faith a little more than others do. My man, there's nothing wrong with having faith. I believe in it, and I think that's awesome and commend you on it. What's the most important part of morning routine to get you going? Great question, Jay. So for me, I operate best when I do these three things, and I got to tell you, I've taken some things based on some really good coaches and mentors I've worked with. A buddy of mine, his name is Brian McKenzie, New York Times bestselling author, was on the Healthy Primate podcast, introduced me to Wim Hof, and I was interviewing 10 to 20 people at a time when I was doing my radio show, and I would always ask them what their morning routine was. And all high performers have some type of variation within this. There's some type of meditation, there's some type of hydration, there's some type of exercise, there's some type of education, of like kind of pushing my brain. So mind, body, being, right? So there's something that happens there. So if all of these top performers, from New York Times bestselling authors to gold medal Olympians to the judo coach for the U.S. Olympics to, it just goes on and on, have a routine, what could I do to pull myself into that same type of structure to emulate what top performers are doing? So 2 years ago, I was doing this religiously, and then I do it up and down. But my morning routine, when I want to run at most optimal levels, my morning routine starts like this. If I get up at 5, I start with 32 ounces of water, ice water specifically. I throw a splash of cayenne pepper, a lemon, apple cider vinegar, a shot of apple cider vinegar first, and then I slam that water. What it does is the ice and the water, first off, you're dehydrated when you wake up. You don't realize how much you sweat and you are dehydrated when you wake up in the morning. So it's good to be hydrated to start, but the ice essentially kicks my brain and kicks my metabolism without me having to pound back a coffee. The cayenne pepper jumpstarts my metabolism to get my stomach digestive enzymes moving. So I do that first. And then if I meditate for 15 minutes, or when I say meditate, what I don't want you to think is I'm sitting in a room doing ohms and meditating. What I do are 3 5-minute sessions of Wim Hof breathing techniques. So what I'm trying to do is oxygenate my blood and flip my O2 and my CO2 levels to where I'm heavily oxygenated to get my brain thinking. Then I will do, I'll grab any book off the shelf, not something I'm specifically reading in the evening. I just grab something for inspiration. I read about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and then I go do some high intensity workouts, right? An hour to an hour and 15 where it's weights and cardio. When I do that, I reduce my carbs, reduce my sugars, increase my protein to get into a level of ketosis. When I operate like that, I operate at my absolute best. Right now, I'm having all kinds of like weird health shit that I haven't been talking about, from arthritis, from all the time fighting and boxing, to sports. Like I can hardly hold stuff with my hands now because the cramping is so tight. I got pre-diagnosed with Lyme's, so there's all kinds of weird shit going on that I'm trying to fight against, and I'm using ice and heat and diet to go address that. But that's my morning routine, plus a bunch of other cool shit on how I get moving. Let's see. Prepping OK shipment of eBay shipments while I watch this. I love it. $500 in sales over the weekend. Jay Tiggs is the king of flippers, man. He is the king of flippers. I love seeing this dude find success. Each of the guests I'm thinking truly bring focus on servicing others. Dude, when are you going to have me on the show, man? It's crazy. $60,000 doesn't go as far. Dude, it's, I know, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Parker, good to see you. Jeffrey, great to see you. Alan Cruz, what's up, my dude? Great to have you in the conversation. Chris Ty talking about Wim Hof. That's how I met Chris. So I met Wim Hof. I trained with Wim by my friend, Coach Brian McKenzie. And then I saw some ad or something that got posted on Facebook, and it was Chris and his partner doing Wim Hof breathing. That's how I got introduced to Chris, introduced Chris to Danny and that whole crew. Chris is an amazing human being that is so emotionally and spiritually just smart. I love that dude. I need to spend some more time with him. We don't really talk that much, but he's a great, great dude. Mark Russell, Patrick, Nick, what's happening? Praise for your help. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. You tell me when, Alex, and I'll come in. All right, guys. What else? What else you got for me? Health, body, being, business stuff. What do you want to know? How are you setting your goals up? Planning. I had thrown out some stuff last week around asking how you guys plan and some things that you use to make sure you're kind of hitting your schedules. I have a couple tools I've used, and it doesn't matter what tool you have. If you don't use them, they're all kind of useless. And I thought about kind of redoing some things. So I'm going to be taking a book, kind of a structure, if you will, around the way that I kind of do my day around kind of the mind, body, business stuff, right? So giving a shout out to that terminology from Garrett White and what he's done with Warrior, and then Sean Whalen has continued that. All of those guys that really kind of focus on those buckets. But this is a great book for scheduling. It's the 5-minute journal. So it goes through all kinds of really, really cool stuff on gratitude, what am I doing today, daily affirmations, and then in the evening, 3 things that happened today, and then how can I make today better. So the way that this is structured is there's some really, it's super simple. You just have to use it, right? So I'm going to be putting together something that kind of incorporates all of that. Here's a good book for those of you that want some daily kind of get your brain moving. It is The Art of Giving by Epictetus. Epictetus is a classic Stoic. When you read Stoicism, you hear Stoicism from Tim Ferriss and the like. This guy writes in a way that I can read, and this is a book of his collected writings. So I can literally just pick it up and go, and there's little sections and categories to get my brain going. So when I do my morning reading, this is the kind of stuff that I like to grab just to get my brain thinking. Let's see. Peter, good to see you. Jeffrey, let's keep going here. Sucks to hear about your health. You're a tough cookie. Things will work out. Thank you, Patrick. I just got to it sucks the energy out of me, dude, and it makes me lazy, so I got to just stay moving. Good old notebook and a whiteboard here. That's it, brother. That's it. That's it. Hey, my wife's here. Nice hat. I know, it's kind of small, dude, but I'm going to rock it. I'm going to rock this hat. Going to Vegas next week. Anybody going to Amplify Live and Keith Yackney's event? We'll talk about that. I find I really like whiteboards to get it out of my head in a place I could see it. I totally agree. I'm going to turn this and hope my phone doesn't fall out. Boom. There's my whiteboard with my wife drawing pictures of my kids on there, or the baby drawing stuff, the intern, busy at work. So yes, I love the whiteboard when I'm using it. Blake, good to see you. My wife is breaking me down due to my lack of planning. Just make a planner ends up in front of me daily. Dude, you just gotta write it down and stick to it, dude. That's the only way. People ask me all the time, like, how do you get so much shit done and how do you stay focused? I have to write it down. My wife was busting my balls today going, I'm going to get you a calendar. You forget these things. And I'm like, I live on my calendar that's on my phone and on my computer. But if other stuff drops in, sometimes I'm not prepared. But if I don't follow the calendar, I won't get anything done. Kolby needs a planner too. You need a planner. Jenny is right here. She's right. That's how it rocks. Jenny's going to Vegas next week. Great stick figure. Yes, that's the baby. Do tell more about Amplify. Amplify Live is, so I'll give you guys kind of a bigger piece is, so, you know, I did an event with my new business partner and concierge, Mr. Stephen Fielding. We did Meltdown in the Desert, where the focus is taking people that are top performers in their field, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-figure earners that have a specific skill set, and we brought them all into a room to, on the outside, I position this as a sales and marketing and social media event. We do cover those things, but what we do is we dive into the heads of each one of these amazing human beings on how they were able to overcome and then build and then deliver and then kind of continue through the adversity, because we all have adversity, right? When I was looking around at other events that do the same type of thing that aren't sales and marketing pitch fests, there aren't a lot that exist. Right, there are some amazing conferences if you want to go and learn how to be a marketer. There are some amazing conferences if you want to be like self-help stuff, like you want to go to Tony Robbins or you want to go to trafficking conversions. But where this is different, it's not only the curriculum and the speakers, but it's about taking the self-help piece and the marketing business piece and putting those together. That's why the event that I do is so special. But in searching for other events that are most like it, I was having a hard time as we were looking at places and people we could align with strategically as we move forward to 2018. I've known Keith now for about a year, and I kept getting hit by his ads, and I kept looking at it. I was like, dude. So I called Keith about a sponsorship opportunity, which led into a 2-3 hour phone call about his methodology and what he's doing with Amplify. So Amplify Live is a 3-day event in Las Vegas next week, 11th, 12th, 13th, I believe. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Las Vegas, where I'll be going on behalf of Ryan Tech and myself and Steve Fielding, and we're going to go, and there's all kinds of, from marketing to strategy to sales from some of the most amazing people. You've got Lewis House is going to be there. I love what Lewis does with the School of Greatness. I mean, there's just Russell Brunson's going to be there. Russell's always just an amazing dude to see speak live when you want to hear somebody pitch from the stage. So for me, I'm going to pick up different things that make me better. I'm going to show up. I'm going as a guest. I'm not going as a partner. I don't have direct affiliation. I'm going as a student. I'm going to bring a notebook and a pad and a pen, and I'm going to sit there for 3 days to figure out what it is I can learn to make my events better, what I can do to add to my business, what I can do for my current companies that I manage and I'm part of. So I'm a student, right? So it's just like I'm reading books. When I have the opportunity to go participate in events like that, I absolutely take the chance. I jump at them, talk to the wife, make sure we're good, and then I jump on a plane and we go. So that's it. Appreciate you, Steven. And I'll put a link to Amplify here too, Patrick, if you want to know more. Let's see. That's right. It's on the counter. It doesn't exist. Thank you. I love the hat too. Bella, I appreciate it. Let's see. I voice record ideas for content because it will get lost and I want to write it down. The problem with that, dude, when I take notes is do I go back to reflect on them? So if you're going to do voice notes, the question I would challenge you with, man, is how often are you going back to implement what you've learned? Yes, most of the events are Pitch Fest, Patrick, and that's not what we do. I'm not interested in selling you a bunch of programs, right? Vegas, we tried to see if we could swing it. We need our own plane. Yeah, we do. Okay, guys, I think that's it. That's it. And as always, Dan, you jumped in, my man. You're going to have to check the replay. Be good to yourself. Be good to other people. And today is an amazing day to call your mother. I am going to call my grandmother when we get out of this thing that we're doing here, this dance on the Facebook Live. I need to call my grandma and tell her that I love her. Call the loved ones around you that mean the most to you, because when they're not here, you're going to wish you had the chance to call them. That's why I say that. So, with that, have a great day. Be good. Peace.